Hey, how's it going? My name is Phil DeLuna. I'm a scientist and I'm running for office in Toronto, St. Paul's. Prior to running for office, I was a director at the National Research Council of Canada, where I led a $57 million clean tech program to develop and discover made in Canada clean energy technology. Before that, I was a scientist and I published in papers like Science and Nature up there, and I focused on CO2 conversion, clean hydrogen production, and artificial intelligence for materials discovery. I was also a Carbon X Prize finalist, which is a $20 million competition to capture and convert the most CO2. I took a leave from my job without pay so that I could run for office for the Green Party in Toronto, St. Paul's. And why did I do this? Because I believe that we need to have more science in politics and we need more diversity in Parliament. We need more backgrounds and of people with different lived experiences and expertise, regardless of the color of your skin or what you believe in or your gender or your sexual orientation. We need more of everything and everyone in Parliament. I believe that the leaders of Canada should be representative and reflective of the population that they lead. And I think that's how we get good collaborative policy, and I think that's how we get good collaborative action. So that's a brief overview of why I'm running. But at the heart of it all, I am a scientist. I love science so much because discovery is unique and different. And every time you discover something, you're pushing the boundaries of knowledge just a little bit. Even if it's in that small piece, you're pushing it forward a little bit. So today I'm going to give you an overview of what a day in the life of someone who is running for office for the first time, learning as he's going, and especially during a pandemic when we can't be going out and talking to people necessarily as much, of course, as we'd like to. So for today, what I'm going to do is pick up some signs, like the one that you see behind me. I'm going to have a few meetings throughout the day, work on a couple of op-eds or opinion editorials, and all of that fun stuff as we continue to build the election plans and get going. Just last week, I had my virtual campaign launch, and we raised $24,000, which is an amazing amount of money. For those who don't know, if you are running for an election in Canada, there are personal donation limits. Someone is only allowed to donate up to $1,650 to your campaign. Additionally, a campaign is only allowed to spend around $100,000 to $113,000 during the writ period, which is the period of election, when an election is called to when an election is had. And most writ periods are around 37 days long. So, with that in mind, we are in the second stage of the campaign. The first stage was the launch, and by all accounts, it was super successful. We hit all of our metrics. We raised money, we were able to get volunteers, we got our infrastructure up, we have digital and all that kind of fun stuff. I'll actually show you what I mean with the website and all the sort of technology that goes behind it. And I'll do a little bit of that today because I have to do a little bit of work on the website and a little bit of little digital ads and stuff. And then now we're in the part of the campaign, which I like to call the listening part of the campaign, stage 2, where it's all about understanding what the constituents in Toronto St. Paul's want, what are the issues that matter to them, what is important to them, and how can the government help. So a lot of my day right now is actually reaching out to community organizations, reaching out to people within the community to just have a conversation and host what I like to call a virtual fireside chat. These virtual fireside chats are just Zoom conversations with 5 to 10 people. And we get together and we just talk. I answer questions, I ask questions, and that's how you build a name in the community, I guess, when it's a pandemic and you can't go door-to-door knocking just yet. So that was a lot. I'm going to start off with a little bit of a tour of what goes on behind me. Each little piece, there's a story to. And then after that, we're going to make some coffee because I need to start my day with coffee. I definitely do. Okay, so A little bit of I'm going to break down all of the stuff in my background so you can know what's going on here. And we'll start with this painting. So this painting I did at a paint night. It's nothing too exciting. It's just the Toronto skyline. This here is my Governor General Award for my PhD, which I'm super excited about, of course. I'm just going to open it up, and so you can take a look at it right there. Pretty cool. The Governor General's Award is awarded to sort of the top PhD thesis in any given year. At the top here, this Nature paper, this was actually the first Nature paper that I published in my PhD. It was, I think, maybe 4 months into my PhD or something like that. I was co-first author. I did computational simulations on a paper here. And on the wall, at the bottom here, this is the last paper I published in my PhD, which is a science paper. So I like to have them on the wall here next to each other as a reminder of kind of the bookends of my graduate work. Down here, this is the sign. These are lawn signs that we're going to get today. They're made out of corrugated plastic to be good for harsh winter events. Here, this is a ukulele that I learned and I picked up many, many years ago. Record player, we got some records at the bottom there, records over there. A nice Canadian flag, some books, some plants. Me and my fiance when we were so young and many, many, many years ago. Oh, and this is a book that I really like. It's a portrait of Canada's Parliament, and it's all pictures of Canada's Parliament. And that's my guitar that I play not often enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go make some coffee. I know the lighting there was probably pretty bad, but what are you going to do? Okay. Every morning I make coffee. Every morning I make coffee in this beautiful espresso machine right here. Right there. Get a nice little look at it. Yeah. We have grounds there, etc., etc. And then while I make coffee, maybe I'll just kind of describe the three, the three platform pillars for my campaign. So I can give you a sense of what I'm kind of running for or running on. So for me, the three pillars of my campaign are really simple. Well, not super simple, but the three pillars of my campaign are housing that all can afford, green jobs that leave no one behind, and support for essential workers. The reason why I pick these three things is they're kind of personal to me too. Well, first, support for essential workers. My fiance Danielle, she's a nurse. She works at Sick Kids Hospital, and many Filipino Canadians, fellow Filipino Canadians, I'm Filipino, occupy these low-paying but essential roles. So for me, it's important that we think about how we support these low-paying but essential roles, and that can be things like mental health supports for essential workers like nurses and caregivers and teachers after the pandemic, because we know we're going to need them. That can be things like quicker pathways to immigration for temporary foreign workers who are essential in feeding this country. By the way, this right here is the best smell in the world. It's so good. So that's one of the pillars of my campaign. The second pillar of my campaign is housing affordability. And I mean, I think that's kind of easy to figure out why I would care about that, right? I am part of a generation that wonders, are we ever going to be able to afford a home? There are tons of people out there in their middle age who have kids who are coming of age, getting into adulthood, and they're wondering, are their kids ever going to afford a home, especially in the city that they grew up in? It's difficult. In my view, a lot of it has to deal with supply side issues. The population of Canada has grown tremendously over the last few years, but the housing supply, especially in urban centers and sites, have not. And it's not just about building a bunch of condos that people can invest in and speculate on. It's actually building what's called the missing middle. The townhomes, the apartment complexes, places where people could imagine starting a life with a family, one kid, two kids in a downtown or a midtown area. so we have to think about ways to support more of these housing, the missing middle, and also how to make them more sustainable and net zero. The third piece, of course, of my platform campaign is, oh, it's loud, is green jobs that leave no one behind. And just gonna grab some milk here. Now, actually, let me show you this amazing espresso machine work. I wish you could smell the coffee. It's so good, so good. Okay. So green jobs that leave no one behind. Yeah, so let me start that part over again. Green jobs that leave no one behind. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario. My dad was an auto worker. I moved to Canada when I was 5 years old from the Philippines. He lost his job in 2008 when the financial sector sort of collapsed, but more importantly, when all of the automotive sector collapsed in Windsor. And lots of the plants were shut down and a lot of people were laid off. Lots of my friends, their parents lost their job too. So I know exactly firsthand what it's like to have an entire community dependent on one industry and what happens when that industry fades away. I feel like that exact same thing is happening today. That thing is happening today in heavy emission industries, in places like the West, and even here. So I care about clean jobs and green jobs, not just because sustainability and net zero is good for the planet, which absolutely it is, but also because we need to think about a clean destination for these people to transition to. Clean jobs and green jobs are important because the 21st century will be a clean economy. That is what the economy of the 21st century is. So we have to be prepared and we have to diversify our economy now in order to get there. Canada is the only G7 country that actually hasn't reduced its emissions since the Paris Climate Accords in 2015. We have to do better. Anyway, so those are the three pillar topics or platform topics, I should say, that I'm going to run in my campaign. I'm going to now enjoy this delicious coffee and then get started on my day. So to start my day, the first thing that I do is I read my emails, of course. I've already read a few of them, obviously. I don't want you to necessarily see all the secrets of my political campaign, but that's the first thing that I do. The second thing that I do is I check out how we're doing in terms of data. The number of hits to our website, the amount of money that we've raised so far, all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of that here online. I use Google Data Studio. Google Data Studio, which is a really cool tool, allows for people to track different things. So right here, this is our dashboard. We can see, for example, where our traffic is coming from, all the different places that they're coming from. Oh, it looks like there seems to have been a spike in organic and paid searches at some point. Interesting. Directed traffic, etc. This is a breakdown of that. This is how many people visit the site on what day. This is the days that they visit. This is how much money that we've made, etc. in terms of donations. I'm just going to pull that over again. So this is our donation page where you can see the donations as well as the average dollar amount over there. That's one of the things that we're doing. I'm going to show you now quickly my website. I built the website on WordPress. There are many different website builders you can use, but I prefer using WordPress. So this is the website. That's me. That's my face. What's up? The first thing you should do on a website is have what's called above the fold. Here we have a call to action, which is just join us for an email. Put your name and your email and check us out. As we scroll down, I have a little video of my video announcement. I'll meet Phil. The 3 platform priorities that I spoke about earlier, our latest news, etc. I also vlog. I'm vlogging my campaign in hopes of lowering the barriers of entry for other non-traditional candidates. Under Meet Phil, this is what my campaign webpage looks like. It's just my story, me as a little kid. Here is me and my family at my graduation after I accomplished my PhD, which was awesome. Me and my fiance Danielle, who is just amazing and just been supporting me this entire time. So she's great. And then, of course, just a little bit more about me and whatnot. Our team is super exciting as well. The team is full of all volunteers, and there are lots of folks who have backgrounds in science and technology and all that fun stuff. So these are just a few of them. This isn't all of the team really yet. Just the ones who feel comfortable being online here. Our donate page, which again tells us how much money we've raised to date. Of course, the donate page. And one thing that people don't realize is that many political donations are actually tax deductible, meaning that a large part of it is funded through a tax receipt and a tax return. So if you, for example, donate $400, $300 of that is refunded to you come tax time. So that's our donate page. Endorsements is here. So these are all of the people who have endorsed me in my campaign. And I wanted to give a mix of people who are political from the Green Party or other parties, people who are leaders in industry, and then people who live in the riding as well. And then finally, my media and press site, which is just all the things that I've done, all the articles that I've been in, the podcast that I host, and all of the news posts that we have as well, which is fun. So that's an overview of the website, my website. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go pick up some more signs like that. Okay, so next time you'll see me, I'll probably be in a car, but see you then. So today we're picking up lawn signs for the campaign. So I've actually had a super busy day of back-to-back meetings, and I didn't actually eat lunch. And I know I was supposed to record a lunch portion of this, but special guest, my fiance Danielle just got home from work, and she's making dinner right now, avocado toast. Say hi.
Hi.
Anyway, I just thought I would introduce you to her. She's super supportive. I should say too that when running for office, you need to make sure that you have someone who is supportive and can be your sort of mental health person, your person in your corner, because it's a lot of stressful work. Anyway, that was that, and I have a couple of more meetings again for the rest of the night. What did I do today? I had a meeting with the podcast host of Filipino Fridays, which is a podcast that highlights Filipino voices based out of Vancouver, and we're going to hopefully do a podcast episode with them. I also had a meeting with a film producer to hopefully think about maybe documenting some of my journey in a documentary, maybe pitch it to CBC or something like that. So that'll be cool and fun and exciting. I had a meeting, a session with Creative Destruction Lab, which is a startup accelerator that is focused on helping science-based companies scale. It's something that I did before I ran for office, and I was committed to that program, so I wanted to make sure that I followed through with it. It is now, what time is it? It's like 5 something. It's 5 something, and for the rest of my day, what do we got? At 7 p.m., I'm going to be giving a talk at a sustainability program cohort thing that my friend Leora, who is also a co-host on a podcast that I run, is doing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey, and that'll be fun. And then after that, at 7:30, I have a meeting with our Electoral District Association, or EDA. The Electoral District Association is, I like to describe them as kind of like the McDonald's franchise of the Green Party. EDAs are the local party riding association in all the different parties around the country. And in between elections, they're responsible for keeping party activities going, in recruiting candidates for the next election and all that fun stuff. And today we're going to have an EDA meeting as well. So yeah, a day in the life of a politician is, or I guess a wannabe politician like myself, is really all about meetings. It's always different. It's about stakeholder engagement. It's about, I was writing an op-ed earlier today to try to get my name out there a little bit more. It's about getting briefed on the policy issues of the day. I do a lot of watching the national and news, a lot of news watching now. That's kind of what it's like. So I hope that you've enjoyed today and the sign gathering and this and thanks for watching.